Hi everyone, my name is Emma and I chose to do our simulation assignment on the University of Minnesota versus Purdue football game. This happened not too long ago, October 11th, 2025. So let's take a look at it. So the first article that I picked was from the U of M athletics website, and its title was Parrish Pick 6 Seals 27-20 Homecoming Win over Purdue. The author was not mentioned, it just said University of Minnesota football, and then there's the URL if you want to take a look at it. It was published on game day, so October 11th at 10:15 p.m., and the sport is football. Article 2 I looked at was from the Star Tribune. The title was Takeaways, Gophers Turn It On Late to Defeat Purdue 27-20. The author was Randy Johnson of the Minnesota Star Tribune, and the date published was October 12th, 2025 at 12:32 a.m., which was not too long after the last published article. And the sport, once again, is football. So looking at both articles and their convergence techniques, I said that the University of Minnesota athletics site combines written reporting with visual and digital elements. So there was action photos, there was lots of stats, hyperlinks, player bios, and there was even a video. There's a press conference video and then another video kind of like highlighting plays. And I said that this shows technological convergence by using multimedia tools to engage fans. Looking over at the Star Tribune convergence, I said that article used journalistic and digital convergence. So they also used photos, but they used more quotes than the Minnesota article did. And then they also used stats, and then they had like subsection headings, and some of those headings were like play of the game recap, turning point, key stat, MVP, injury report up next. So I said it was written for a digital platform but followed traditional journalistic structure for their convergence techniques. But then they also that one also really focused on its organizational convergence, and like I said, lots of those headers for those subsections. So I kind of focused that they used the same like digital points, but then they were also very organized in it. For style of writing, I do work for the University of Minnesota Crookston University Relations, so it was interesting to look at the style of writing for U of M athletics. I said their style was very objective, like it read very much like a press release. It was upbeat, factual, and focused on team success. As for storytelling, there wasn't much of it. I said it mainly focused on the sequence of game events, key plays, and then highlighting team effort. You could really tell that they were trying to just highlight like U of M football. The flow was more chronological. It moved from key stats in the beginning to chronological key plays towards the end, because that's kind of when all the action happened, was towards the end. So it went chronologically from that. And then beyond the text, the article included stats of the players, the team, scoring summary, and then, like I said, photos and videos. As for the Star Tribune, I said the style was very narrative. I think you'll see it a couple times in this presentation, but the writer uses storytelling to emphasize the aspects of the game, focusing on like Corey Parrish's interception. Since this is more like a journal type, I said there was more storytelling because it definitely included more quotes, and that creates more of like an emotional side to the piece, as well as context and implications for the season. So it definitely read more like a story and not just a recap. As for the flow, it began with the game's decisive moments, and then it transitioned into analysis and player performance insights as well, or rather than the play-by-play, kind of like the last article. Beyond the text, the article included stats of the players like the U of M one did. It also included team stats, photos, and then it had like a section like injury report and turning point, which was interesting to read. As for main roles and functions, I said the UMN athletics was more about informing fans of the results and the stats. They wanted to promote their program, and they influenced their readers by highlighting the effort and U of M pride. And then as for the Star Tribune, I said it was more about informing readers. He included a lot of analysis and broader context within the Big Ten, and then it created a narrative that connects the game to things like season progress or player development. I also said that he was very like influencing in the sense that the author gave his interpretation, and that's how it kind of influenced the readers. Site design, I included a screenshot, but this is what like the main site looked like. It's definitely branded in their maroon and gold. They included lots of links to roster, stats, schedule, ticket sales, social media, bios. There's a link for basically anything. I only saw 2 advertisements. You can see one in there, and then there was another one when I scrolled down deeper. Like I said previously, they've used videos and photos, and overall, a lot of things were easy to access. As you can see, their social media is right there, just lots of links and lots of things to easily access. Site design for the Star Tribune, a little bit different. It's not the U of M brand. It's basically white with those green accents. I said it kind of just looked like a standard newspaper article layout. There's nothing too special about it. There were no links. There were several ads and pop-ups in comparison to the U of M one, and then it was more journalistic, included more quotes, more like heartfelt rather than just like stats and play-by-play. And then as for anything else that I saw, U of M did not use quotes like at all, but the Star Tribune did, which was interesting to see. And then timeliness, I mentioned it in the very beginning, but both were published within 24 hours of the game. I think it was less than 10 hours after the game. I'm assuming it didn't end too late. The university's version was posted sooner than the Star Tribune. It did say that the Star Tribune was posted the next day, but that was at like 12 a.m. So almost made that cut off to make it same day. And then as for the purpose, I felt like U of M geared towards engagement and promotion, while the Star Tribune felt more like a traditional journalism piece. So those are kind of just my key takeaways that I wanted to bring up. But